Welcome back to St. Michael's Spiritual Hour, where we believe in a positive spiritual attitude for positive spiritual attainment. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Chapman. Glad you can join us in this half hour. Be blessed on it and be ready to receive the blessings that God has for you. And I'm asking you to shake yourself loose of all that negativity and watch God bless you, because there's a war going on. There's a war going on. Your spirit man wants to be delivered, but your physical man says, oh, no. Oh, no, I'm not going to be delivered. I'm not going that way. Things are not better. I am the worst person ever. And then you continue that cycle. And we say, oh, no, not true. God stands in and God can deliver you right now. He can do that right now. And you say, well, I don't understand why he just won't come in and do it. Because you're not ready to let it go. You are not ready to let it go. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever made a promise, God, if you let me out of this, I'll promise I won't go back. Lord, if you do this, I'll go to church every day. If you start making those promises, but then you go right back and do the same thing, your flesh is weak. It is weak, and you're not by yourself. But we're praying for your strength on today, that what you're going through, and the process is not as bad as what you're going through right now. Okay, and this is the spirit. This is the spiritual encouragement for you on today. And I know we talk about getting therapy. You do. And you have to have a plan to get out. You do. And you have to have somebody help you. You do. But there are many people who would tell you right now, I had a plan. I just made up my mind one day, packed my stuff, or I just left everything. I just left everything and got out because my life and my children, their lives were at stake. And I'm encouraging you on today, if you know somebody that's going through, it behooves you to help them out. Do they put on a good front? Yes, they do. They put on a great front. You ask them, how's everything? And they say, everything is fine. My Mercedes out in front. I got a 20-room house, all of that. But then on the inside, things are not going as well as they should. They're tormented day and night. They are tormented, okay? And I'm saying to you, trust in God, trust in Jesus that he will do it for you. He will heal you on today. He will free you from your blindness, the stuff that you think that you're going through, that you can't do better. And I'm saying, yes, you can. Okay. Children, they see it. Ma, why don't you get out? Ma, why don't you leave? Dad, why don't you leave? You can do better somewhere else. And you don't want to hear it because of flesh. Sometimes it's sex. You feel like you can't do without it. You can't do without it. And I'm telling you, there's somebody else that can do just as well. There's no difference. I'm bound. You're bound by it. You're bound by it. And you got to ask God to free you from that. You do. You got to ask him to do that for you. And I'm asking you to be encouraged on today. You are a slave to the captivity. You are, but don't be. So I'm going to read John, the 9th chapter for you on today. All right. And this is how he heals a blind man. And this is the NIV version, okay? As it went along, he saw a blind man from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And they're trying to get into the logic of it all. And sometimes it's beyond that, okay? Neither this man nor his parents sinned, said Jesus, but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. So when things happen to you, and I have a lot of people say, why did this happen to me? And when I was going through as a young man, I've always asked that, Lord, why am I back in the hospital? What have I done? Okay, but it wasn't that I've done anything. I had to learn that later. It was so I could tell this testimony that somebody else may be freed and be encouraged. So this is the story. But this happens so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. As long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. In other words, follow him as an example, okay? Having said this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. Go, he told him, wash in the pool of Siloam. This would mean sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing. Now, here's the problem. The man had to do something. Action was required on the man's part, okay? Action was, he said, why did he spit? Now we start talking about getting into all the negative. Why did he spit on the ground? Why did he have to put mud in? So that the man would have to do something. Action is required, okay? Action is required. His neighbors and those who had formerly seen him begging asked, isn't this the same man who used to sit and beg? Some claimed that he was. Others said, no, he only looks like him. Don't they say that about people who've been delivered? That can't be her. That can't be her. That can't be him. They were in so much trouble. They can't be the same person. But he himself insisted, I am the man. That's his testimony. I am the man, the same. How then were your eyes open? They demanded. They wanted to know the story. So when you get delivered, they want to know what happened to you. How did you get out of that situation? Weren't you beat down? Weren't you beat up? Weren't you chained to the bed? Weren't you being controlled by the man, by the woman there? How did you get out? You can't be the same person. You have to say, I am the same person. I am he who was down, okay? He replied, the man they called Jesus came, made some mud, and put it on my eyes. He told me to go to Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and then I could see. In other words, it just didn't happen. I had something to do too. I had to follow the directions. And once I followed the directions, I could see. I am not the same person I was before. Where is this man? They asked him. I don't know, he said. They brought to the Pharisees the man who had been blind. Now the day on which Jesus had made the mud and opened the man's eyes was the Sabbath. Therefore the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He put mud on my eyes, the man replied, and I washed, and now I see. So here is his testimony. Sometimes people are in situations and God gives them a challenge. And sometimes they put the challenge on themselves. But they have to testify because people don't believe they can be freed. People who are in bondage don't believe they can be let go. People who have cancer, they think their life is over and they succumb to it. And I'm saying you have to be bigger and stronger than that. You got to say, Lord, if you free me from this, and when you free me from this, then I'll have a testimony. I will tell everybody that it wasn't me. It wasn't the doctors. It was God who did all of this. He freed me from this. So if you're in your bondage, in your relationship, you feel like you can't do better. You just feel like this is it. I can get beat down every now and then. I can be abused. I can be cursed out every now and then you start cursing people out. So things are not getting any better, but when they free you, when you get freed from it, your job is to announce the good news. Yes, I was in bondage. Yes, I was tied up. Yes, I didn't have a job. Yes, I had all of that. I was drinking just like my partner was. I was smoking just like him. Then finally, we graduated. We started doing heroin. We started doing cocaine. All of that drags you down. So I'm saying to you, God can deliver you. There are plenty of stories where people say, I just quit. I say, how did you stop? I quit cold turkey. I just stopped. And God had a plan for me. He delivered me from all of this. And I'm saying to you, it can happen for you on today. There are plenty of stories like that. Plenty of stories how God just steps in and deliver those who want to be delivered. Not that they've sinned or anything, but the glory of God must be proclaimed. You must have a testimony. You must have it. And say, well, how many times can I tell it? You can tell it 1,000,000 times. You can tell it over and over. And every time you tell it, somebody's going to be delivered from it. Somebody's going to say, if it happened for them, it can happen for me. God bless and God keep you and strengthen you. We'll be right back.